Old age is not a burden, but a time to enjoy life with peace and joy. After many decades of hard work, raising children, and facing life's challenges, this is the time for us to live for ourselves, savor each moment with a light heart. But to achieve this peace, sometimes we need to learn to let go. Letting go does not mean losing, it means liberation. When we let go of things that no longer hold meaning, life becomes simpler and happier. That is why John Anderson, an expert in psychology and personal development, has spent many years researching ways to help older adults enjoy life to the fullest. Today, he will share with us 5 important things to let go of in old age, to bring peace to the soul and make each day more meaningful. Section 1. Let go of resentment. In every person's life, at least once, they have been hurt by the words or actions of others. It could be a careless reprimand from parents, a misunderstanding with friends that was never explained, or even deep pain from betrayal by a loved one. These emotional wounds, if not healed, can become burdens we carry throughout our lives. But holding on to resentment does not make us happier, it only makes our soul heavier. Like holding a hot coal in our hands, it's only us who gets burned. Resentment is a fire that burns oneself. Resentment does not hurt others. First and foremost, it hurts us. When we hold on to anger, our minds continually churn with painful memories. Each time we recall them, feelings of anger and frustration resurface, preventing us from fully enjoying the present. This feeling not only affects our spirit but also has a negative impact on our physical health. Studies have shown that people who frequently hold grudges are at higher risk for heart disease, high blood pressure, and immune system problems. Furthermore, when we hold on to resentment, we unintentionally allow the past to control our present and future. We cannot move forward if we keep looking back at what has already happened. We deserve to live a life of happiness and peace, but that can only happen when we let go of unnecessary burdens. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. Many people believe that forgiveness means accepting the hurt others have caused or forgetting what they have done. But this is not the case. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means choosing not to let the pain control us anymore. It is not weakness, but a sign of inner strength. When we forgive, we are not doing it for others, but for ourselves. We choose to forgive to free our souls from anger, so we no longer have to live in the shadows of the past. When we do this, we will feel a sense of relief and peace like never before. How to let go of resentment. Letting go of resentment is not an easy task, but it is entirely possible if we truly desire a peaceful life. Below are some ways to help us learn to let go and forgive. Acknowledge your emotions honestly. First, we need to admit that we are angry, hurt, and resentful. Do not try to deny or suppress your emotions because doing so only causes them to build up and eventually explode stronger later. Take time to understand why you feel this way and what is preventing you from letting go. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. One of the most effective ways to forgive is to try to understand why the other person acted the way they did. Perhaps they hurt you not out of malice, but because they too were hurting or influenced by certain circumstances. When you understand this, the anger may gradually fade away. Write down your thoughts and feelings. Journaling or writing a letter, even if you don't send it, can help you release pent-up emotions. Write down everything you feel, everything you want to say to the person who hurt you. Once you're done, you can tear up or burn the letter as a symbolic act of letting go of resentment. Seek support from others. Sharing your feelings with a trusted friend, a loved one, or even a psychologist can help you view the situation from a different perspective. Sometimes, just being listened to is enough to help you feel lighter. Practice gratitude. Instead of focusing on past hurts, take time to appreciate the good things in life. Each day, write down at least 3 things you are grateful for. This helps redirect your attention to the positive rather than the negative emotions. Meditation and mindfulness practice. meditation, and mindfulness help you better control your emotions and focus on the present. When you can live in the moment, negative thoughts about the past and future diminish. Accept that apologies may not always come. One of the hardest things about letting go of resentment is accepting that not everyone will apologize or recognize their mistakes. But that does not mean you have to carry the pain forever. You can choose to let go, even without acknowledgement from the other person. Resentment is a burden we don't have to carry throughout our lives. When we learn to forgive, we not only free others from blame but also free ourselves from suffering. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing peace over pain. We deserve a peaceful and happy old age, and it begins by letting go of what no longer serves our inner peace. Give yourself the opportunity to live calmly and enjoy the remaining years with as light a heart as possible. Section 2. Let go of the sadness of the past. The past is an inseparable part of everyone's life, but it should not be a burden that drags us backward. Losses, mistakes, pains, and unfinished business, they are all in the past. However, many of us remain stuck in the past, continuing to carry sad and difficult memories like heavy backpacks that we cannot set down. But when we hold tightly to the past, we cannot move forward and enjoy the wonderful things that await us in the future. Think of the past as a book that has already been written. There are pages filled with beautiful memories, moments of happiness that we can look back on with gratitude. But there are also sad pages, mistakes, and pains, and if we keep dwelling on them, we will never find peace. The past cannot be changed, and we cannot relive moments that have already passed. Instead of letting the sad pages affect the present, we need to learn to accept and let go. We cannot live forever in painful memories. What matters is learning from the past and moving forward. The past is only a part of the story, not the whole. The past cannot determine our future, but many people let it dictate all of their decisions in the present. They hold on to bad memories, failures, and losses as burdens on their souls. This prevents them from enjoying the present moment because they are constantly living with anxiety, regret, or dissatisfaction. One of the most important steps to letting go of the past is realizing that the past is only a part of life, not the whole. Mistakes, wounds, or losses in the past are just small moments in a long life. Instead of letting them define who we are, we should view them as lessons, experiences that help us grow and become stronger. If we keep turning back to the past to face regrets or pain, we will miss the chance to enjoy the joys of the present. Because only the present is something we truly own. Everything in the past is gone, and everything in the future has yet to happen. So why should we let the past dominate our present life? The answer is because we have not truly learned how to forgive ourselves, and we haven't really let go of the negative emotions from what has already passed. Let the past be a lesson, not a burden. To let go of the sadness in the past, we need to change how we view it. Painful experiences, losses, or failures are not the end of our lives. They are simply necessary lessons that help us grow and understand ourselves better. In reality, life is not always smooth. Everyone must face challenges and difficulties. What matters is how we respond to those challenges. When we view the past as a lesson rather than a burden, we will feel lighter and freer. Sad memories are no longer wounds that cannot heal, but marks on our life journey. They help us become wiser, stronger, and more appreciative of every moment in our present life. Why is letting go of the past important? When we cannot let go of the past, we inadvertently deny ourselves the opportunity to live fully in the present. Our sadness and disappointments create a dark cloud that blocks the light in our lives. We cannot see the freshness, enthusiasm, and joy in life if we keep returning to the past. This is especially important when we enter old age, where the remaining time in life becomes more precious than ever. If we keep living in thoughts of things that cannot be changed, we will miss the chance to enjoy peaceful and happy moments in the present. We deserve to live with peace and tranquility, and this can only be achieved when we learn to let go of the sadness of the past. How to let go of the past? Letting go of the past is not an easy task, but it is entirely possible if we truly desire to live a peaceful life. Below are some ways to help free ourselves from the sad memories of the past. Accept that the past is gone and cannot be changed. The first important step is to acknowledge that everything in the past is history. We cannot change what has happened, but we can change how we react to it and how we face it. Accepting that the past is over will help us live more lightly. Learn from mistakes and failures. Every mistake is a valuable lesson. Look back at the errors of the past and learn from them. They are not something to be ashamed of or to dwell on, but experiences that help us become stronger and more resilient. Seek forgiveness and liberation for yourself. Forgive those who have hurt you and, more importantly, forgive yourself. We cannot change what has happened, but we can choose to free our minds from negative feelings and not let them control our lives. Live in the present. When we focus on the present, we find that life becomes richer and more meaningful. Instead of dwelling on the past, seize every moment, whether it's a conversation with friends, a fun outing, or peaceful moments with family. Happiness and peace come when we learn to appreciate the present. The past cannot be changed, but how we face it can change our present life. Let the past be a part of the story, but don't let it dominate your present and future. When we know how to let go of the sadness of the past, we will experience freedom, peace, and a happier life. Live fully with what we have in hand and keep moving forward. Section 3. Let go of meaningless relationships. As we go through life, not everyone will stay with us forever. Some people come and go, leaving behind beautiful memories, but many others only leave emptiness and sadness. When we are young, we may easily invest time and energy into relationships that do not truly bring happiness. But as we age, everything becomes clearer. Time becomes our most precious asset, and we can no longer afford to waste it on relationships that do not bring joy or warmth. These relationships may be shallow conversations, people who only show up when they need something, but are not truly willing to share and accompany us through difficult moments. At some point, we must learn to let go of these relationships to make space for those who truly matter, people who bring peace and joy to our souls. When relationships lose meaning, life is a continuous series of changes, and relationships are no exception. When we are young, we tend to think that we need many friends, that we need to be everywhere and stay in touch with everyone. But as time passes, we realize that not every relationship is worth investing in. True friends, those who bring joy and peace to our lives, are few, but they are invaluable. There are relationships that bring nothing but hurt and disappointment. These may be people who always put their own interests first, who don't care about our feelings, or those who continuously seek to take advantage of us without ever offering us true respect. Sometimes, we hold on to these relationships due to fear of loneliness, or because we are afraid to lose acquaintances, even though we know they bring nothing positive to our lives. As we grow older, we gain enough experience to realize that not all relationships can last forever. More importantly, not every relationship is worth our time and energy. Spending time with those who truly love and value us, those who are willing to share in both our joys and struggles, is the most important thing we can do. The cost of holding on to meaningless relationships. When we continue to maintain unhealthy relationships, we are sacrificing our time, energy, and emotions for things that aren't worth it. Such relationships can make us feel lonely, exhausted, and stressed. They can cause anxiety, make us feel used, or even disrespected. They can also take a toll on our mental and physical health. When our minds are constantly faced with conflict, feelings of betrayal or abandonment, our bodies will also feel worn out and drained. In reality, as we grow older, we understand more that there is nothing more precious than inner peace. Maintaining relationships that do not bring joy or support will only make our souls heavier. Time is irreplaceable, and we can only give it to those who deserve it, those who make our lives brighter. The benefits of letting go of meaningless relationships. Letting go of meaningless relationships is a way to free ourselves from negative emotions and focus on what truly matters. When we no longer have to spend time on those who don't genuinely care for us, we can devote our time to those who love us, those who make us feel at peace and valued. This letting go does not mean we give up on connecting with people, but rather that we learn to select those who deserve to stay in our lives. Close family members and true friends will be the motivation to help us maintain happiness in our later years. We need friends who we can share stories, experiences, and beautiful memories with. They will be by our side during joyful moments as well as during difficult times. How to let go of meaningless relationships. Letting go of meaningless relationships is not always easy. Sometimes, we may feel guilty or afraid when cutting off a relationship, especially if that person has been in our lives for a long time. However, to live a fulfilling and peaceful life, sometimes we need the courage to end unhealthy relationships. Here are a few ways to help us let go of relationships that hold no value. Awareness of the value of relationships. Before deciding to let go of a relationship, we need to ask ourselves whether this relationship truly brings happiness to our lives. If it only leaves us feeling tired, disappointed, or disrespected, it is time to reconsider and make a decision. Know when to stop. Not every relationship can be salvaged. If we've tried so hard to maintain a relationship and the other person still does not appreciate it, it is time to stop. Do not fear losing someone because in reality, people who do not love us are not worth keeping in our lives. Identify positive relationships. Spend time with those who truly bring positivity into your life. These people may be family, close friends, or those who share the same values and perspectives on life. These relationships will help us feel peaceful and joyful. Practice self-respect. When we have self-respect and love ourselves, we will know that we deserve sincere and loving relationships. Letting go of meaningless relationships is a way to value and appreciate ourselves more. Life is too short to waste on relationships that do not bring joy or warmth. Spend time with those who truly love us, those who bring peace and happiness into our lives. Letting go of meaningless relationships is not an easy decision, but it is a necessary step to live a fulfilling and happy life. Only when we know how to cut off the unnecessary can we make space for better and more meaningful things in our lives. Section 4. Letting go of empty glory. When we are young, we often dream of a glamorous life with a successful career, abundant wealth, and high social status. These values are often seen as measures of success in society, goals we relentlessly pursue. But as time passes, as age begins to shadow every step we take, we gradually realize that the things we once chased after are not what truly define the value of our lives. Fame, wealth, or social status may shine for a time, but they cannot last forever and do not bring peace to our hearts. True values in life. As we enter the later years of our life, what matters is not what we have achieved in our careers or the material possessions we own. We begin to realize that these things are fleeting and could be gone at any moment. The rankings on charts, the numbers in our bank accounts, or the titles and medals we have earned are all temporary rewards that cannot define a person's true worth. What truly remains and is more precious than anything else are the beautiful memories of meaningful moments spent with loved ones. The joyful moments with family, the warm conversations with friends, the shared support and assistance during difficult times. These are the things that create the value of our lives. Love, kindness, sharing, and empathy are what will stay in our memories far longer than professional achievements or empty glory. Fame cannot replace love. There are people who spend their entire lives chasing fame, wealth, and status, believing that these things will bring happiness and satisfaction. But when they look back, they realize that what they sacrificed to achieve those goals, the broken family relationships, the lost moments, the precious time that cannot be regained, are the true losses. Fame can make us feel proud for a moment, but it cannot replace the love and connection of family, nor can it ease the loneliness we sometimes feel during moments of stillness. As we grow older, we need to realize that the importance of life is not measured by how much success or fame we have attained, but by how much love, care, and attention we have received from those around us. It is this love that gives us the strength to overcome life's difficulties, and it is the only thing that can comfort us when we look back at our lives. Living simply and enjoying life. We all know that life is a series of fleeting moments. Therefore, as we reach adulthood, especially as we grow older, we should live a simple and peaceful life, appreciating what we have. The small joys in daily life, like a warm meal with family, an afternoon spent chatting with friends, or a trip to visit peaceful places, these are the precious moments we should cherish. Living simply does not mean abandoning all ambition or dreams, but rather reconsidering what is most important in life. Truly, we do not need a large house or a luxury car to feel happy. Real happiness comes from living a life where we feel free, at peace, and content with what we have. Inner peace comes from the soul, not from external things. The benefits of letting go of empty glory. Letting go of the desire for empty glory is a way to live a lighter life, unburdened by social expectations or unrealistic standards. When we stop chasing after superficial values, we will have the time and space to reflect on ourselves and recognize the true values of life. Once we let go of the craving for fame, we can focus on things that bring real happiness, such as family, friends, and the freedom to do what we love. This helps us feel free, no longer bound by comparisons or competition with others. We can live authentically, according to our own desires, not because of any image or societal expectations. How to let go of empty glory. To let go of empty glory and live a simple life, we need to do a few things. Awareness of the true value of life. The first step is recognizing that the true values of life are not fame or material wealth. We need to change our perception of success, so we are no longer obsessed with fame or superficial achievements. Sharing and contributing. Satisfaction comes not only from what we have, but also from what we give. Contributing to the community, spending time helping those in need, or simply taking care of our family will make us feel that life has much more meaning. Finding peace in simple things. Instead of chasing after grand goals, seek joy in simple moments. Enjoy a peaceful morning, savor a cup of tea with friends, or spend time caring for plants in the garden. These simple things can bring peace to the soul. Fame may be temporary, but the memories of love and happy moments will last forever in our hearts. At the end of life, when we look back, we will not regret not achieving fame or high status. Instead, we will remember the quiet moments spent with family, the laughter of friends, and the simple things that made life worth living. Letting go of empty glory is the way to live a truly complete and happy life. Live the way you want and cherish each moment of life, for that is the most valuable thing. Section 5. Letting go of self-blame. Letting go of self-blame is one of the most important lessons we must learn as we mature, especially as we reach old age. In life, no one is perfect. We all make mistakes, make wrong decisions, miss opportunities, and leave things undone. This is an inevitable part of being human. However, instead of letting these mistakes dominate our hearts, we should learn to accept and forgive ourselves. What matters is not what we did wrong, but how we face those mistakes and learn from them. Mistakes are part of life. Each of us carries scars from the past. These scars may be from wrong decisions, career failures, broken relationships, or missed opportunities that we cannot hold on to. We often blame ourselves for what happened, but the truth is, no one can live a life without facing failure or pain. It is through these challenges that we grow and learn more about ourselves and the world around us. Mistakes are not inherently bad. They are an essential part of our journey. Without mistakes, we would never understand the value of success, patience, or perseverance. Furthermore, every mistake is a valuable lesson that gives us a deeper understanding of life and ourselves. Learning from our mistakes is the way to increase our wisdom and make life more meaningful. Why do we torture ourselves? Although we know that mistakes are a normal part of life, many people still constantly torture themselves and struggle to forgive themselves. The reasons for this can stem from various factors: high expectations from oneself, the feeling of not achieving set goals, or even the influence of social and family standards. We tend to set perfectionist standards for ourselves, and when we fail to meet them, we feel like failures and blame ourselves. This not only burdens our minds but also negatively affects our health and relationships. Feelings of guilt and worry about the past only make us more stressed and exhausted. Instead of helping us move forward, it keeps us trapped in painful memories and prevents us from enjoying the present moment. How to let go of self-blame. Letting go of self-blame is not easy, but it is an important step in finding peace and happiness. Here are a few ways to help you learn to accept and forgive yourself. Recognize that no one is perfect. The first step is to realize that no one is perfect. Everyone has flaws, and everyone has made mistakes in the past. Accept that you are no different, and that doesn't diminish your worth. Mistakes are merely stepping stones to help us learn and grow. It is through failure that we can find the right path for ourselves. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself the way you would treat your dearest friend. If your friend faced a failure, you wouldn't criticize them, you would encourage and comfort them. Similarly, when you make a mistake, remind yourself that you deserve compassion and forgiveness. You are worthy of love and acceptance, even when you've gone wrong. Learn from mistakes. Instead of simply looking back at what has happened with regret, focus on the lessons you can learn from those mistakes. Every mistake carries a valuable message, and if you understand it, you will grow. Ask yourself, what have I learned from this? And how can I do better in the future? Forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself is a long and difficult process. However, when you decide to forgive yourself, you are freeing your soul from unnecessary burdens. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting your mistakes. It means accepting them as part of life and being ready to move forward without letting them hold you back. Focus on the present. The present is the only thing you can control. Take time to live fully in the present moment. Don't let the past pull you back. Focus on what you can do right now. When you live fully in the present, you will feel lighter and freer. Share with others. Sometimes, sharing your thoughts and feelings with a trusted friend can help release much of the pain. When you speak about what you are feeling, not only do you receive empathy, but you may also realize that you are not alone in this life. Seeking help from a specialist. If you feel like you can't overcome self-blame on your own, don't hesitate to seek help from a psychological expert. They can help you manage negative emotions and support you in finding peace of mind. Letting go of self-blame is not easy, but it's an important step toward living a lighter and happier life. When you learn to accept and forgive yourself, you will feel relieved and no longer carry unnecessary burdens. What matters is not the mistakes we've made, but how we learn and grow from them. When your heart is light, life becomes easier, and you will feel joy and peace in every moment. Old age is not the time to carry more pain, resentment, or meaningless relationships. It's a time to learn to let go, find peace within, and enjoy the precious moments left. Specialist John Anderson has shared with us important practices that everyone needs to adopt to live a fuller and more meaningful life. Old age is a precious gift, and to live fully during this stage, we need to learn to let go of things that no longer serve our inner peace. Make each day meaningful, living fully with the true values of life.
Thank you for listening. See you in the next stories. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to get updates on new videos. Thank you.